I have to laugh sometimes. This poor guy here. So he was part of a larger begonia plant sitting next to Mrs. TransPlant spot, and she reached over past the plant and ended up breaking this limb off. So she put water in a little narrow vase and put him in the water. This happened last fall. He's been living his best life in that vase, deep green color. It even bloomed on the top a few times. So this spring we decided to get him his own pot. We put a little rooting hormone down in the hole, stuck him down in there, and this is what we got. Poor little thing. So hopefully he'll bounce back, but he seemed like he was a lot happier in that vase. So something I've been noticing over the years, and that is in our main garden, I planted our Sunshine Ligustrum and our Loropetalum too far back. They're too close to our foundation. The Sunshine Ligustrum began to grow all into the window boxes along the front of the house, and the plants are covering the circulation vents in our foundation. Those vents have little sliders on them that I can open and close based on the weather. They're for circulating air in the foundation, and you don't want them to be obstructed. When I purchased these plants, they were little guys. I think they were like in little 1-gallon pots, and I don't think they were more than 6 or 8 inches outside the pot. The reason I end up planting them there is the builder who built our home, he put a bunch of hollies along there, and when they were young they were okay, but as they began to age and get larger, they were hard to work around. I knew in my heart of hearts one day I wanted to dig them up and replace them. Thus I came up with the concept, I stole it from my cousin, of putting Sunshine Ligustrum and Loropetalum in their place. So folks, today what we're going to do together is I'm going to remedy that problem by digging them all up. I'm only going to be moving them like literally, I don't know, 8-10 inches in front of the location they're in, but they've needed to be moved up for a long time. So folks, without further ado, so I really don't know how hard this is going to be to get out. Maybe that's one of the reasons I kind of delayed this project for a few. See, I can't get to the back of it to get in around the root ball because it's so close to the foundation. All right, got a nice strong root in there I'm gonna dig out. I said dig out when I meant cut out. So while I'm down here, let me see if I can get this guy apart here. All right. So now when I replant it, I'll add a coupler to this piece and then bring the tubing further out. I may as well go ahead and add the coupler right there. Right now, one less thing to deal with. So I found these 3. I'm gonna need 5, so I'll end up having to run out and get 2 more. I know for a fact that these are not easy to get on, so I'm not gonna bother trying to manipulate these and twist them on. I'm just gonna go ahead and warm up some water. I'm a glutton for punishment because I just said I wasn't gonna try this. And I ended up doing it anyway, and it worked out. You got that guy on there. So one thing I'm going to do before I tighten all of this up is I'm going to flush the system before putting it into service. That's very important, especially when you're doing projects and you're playing around in the dirt. There may be a chance that you can get dirt in your lines, so you don't want that dirt or soil getting in the lines and clogging up an emitter. So it's always good to flush out your system before you, quote unquote, put it in production. So. Got a little grub worm there. I don't know if it's in the shot. You know, I always am proud when I dig in this garden and I get to this part where I see my years and years of
soil amendment. The layer of clay is now all the way down beyond a foot. When we moved here 10 years ago, it was all new construction. This was all red clay. I mean, this is an improvement compared to what was here. And it just pleases me every time I dig in the soil and I see this. Now, don't come at me in the comments for being stingy. I see a lot of you just pouring half a bag. When you plant, I ain't got it like that. I'm gonna put the thin side that was originally facing the back, put it on the outer, give it a chance to get some sunlight. When I opened the video, my focus was on the Sunshine Ligustrum, and I later realized, yes, these Loropetalum also need to be moved up. There's a caveat to moving these as well. I found, at least in our gardens, they don't transplant easily. I moved this one from another location to up here, and that one died. If either of these two die, my plan is to replant standard. I don't remember their variety. I think they're either Purple Daydream or they're a variety that mounds. If either of them die, I'm gonna replace both of them with the old-fashioned type that grow compatible with the height of the Sunshine Ligustrum. And again, we're gonna cut this drip tube out. For some reason, my pruners aren't giving me a clean cut this time. That's the one thing when you're not using, come on, you're not using the right tool, sometimes you end up with that. It's amazing, it's so dry here. And this plant, Sunshine Ligustrum, right here, moist soil, and this guy's bone dry. Fascinating. That's gonna be much, much, much too deep. Actually, some biotin in the hole. Smelling good as usual. And the remainder of the soil, just toss it to the back, build that up. Okay, this is messing with my symmetry. He's a little off to the right. He's not directly centered under the window. I probably should have did him first and then moved out from there. So I'm just gonna center him under the window. All right, looks like it. All right, so I'm happy with where this is placed. I have a logistical concern here. I wanna move this container to the rear yard. So I want to move him out. Gonna move this guy up. Then I have this big stone over here. So hopefully I can slide him out of place. We'll see what happens. So I'm wondering if I should just try to move the stone and roll him out of here while the soil's undisturbed. That way it'll be easier to kind of move him. Maybe I'll do that. Well, it's not a lot of weight to it anymore. So it's a lot easier than I thought. It was sitting under this eave up here, so it wasn't getting a lot of water. So that made that easier. There used to be a patio block in there that pot sat on, so obviously sank, you know, due to settling. I have to dig that guy out. I'll just do myself a favor. Just get these guys out of my way right now. Gotta buy those rose gloves that I see on the internet all the time. All right. See if I can locate my patio block. That was in here. All right, let's see if I can lift them out of here with the shovel. Hopefully there's enough soil to build this area back up, because as we can see, there's some settling that does occur here. There's a valley where two roof pitches meet each other here. I'm guessing when it gets really wet, it just, you know, causes this area to settle a little. Another grub worm. See if I can hit the driveway. Yes. And if you're wondering why I keep tossing the grub worms aside, it's because grubs feed on the roots of plants. So any younger, tender roots that are in here, especially with annuals and stuff, you kind of want to remove the grub worms so they don't feed on your plants. And then some grub worm species emerge to be Japanese beetles, which, if you know, you know. Japanese beetles are the bane of our gardener's existence. So they feed on plants, and there's no natural predator for them. I know some people say they feed them to their pets like their chickens, but that's not predatory. That's feeding the grub worms to your chickens. But predation is when there's natural predators that hunt them down, eat them, keeping the ecological environment in balance. I'm getting hot, y'all. I may table this till tomorrow morning. It's really warm out here. And when I say tomorrow morning, I have to get out here before the sun moves from my right over to the front of the house because it is warm. So change of plans. I want to move the Sunshine Ligustrum right here. So its movement is reliant on the placement of this stone, meaning I want to move the stone up or over. I'm going to wait till I get help doing that for obvious reasons. So I don't want to negotiate this corner until I have it thought out and planned. Also, there's the salvia over there next to the stone, so if it moves that way, you know. Anyway, so we're going to move over to that Sunshine Ligustrum over next to the rose bush and then move that way. So I have this salvia here. I'm going to move him out of harm's way. I don't have a permanent place for him. He may just end up going back here, but for now he's in harm's way. So we're going to move him out the way, and I have a drip ring around him. Oh, he's in there good. And this Joko is very happy. So as you've been following me for a bit, you know I like to plant my annuals along here every spring. So I'm going to put this salvia right over here on this corner here. Okay, so I ended up with a runner, Nellie Stevens Holly runner over here. You know, when you're working around these and you get poked by anything, it kind of freaks you out. All right, let me get rid of this. Even when these are dormant, they're lethal. You know, I have the weirdest garden. It is so nice and moist over here. I don't know why that area over there was Sunshine Ligustrum. That one little patch was so dry. Another Nellie Stevens runner over here. Boy, these prickly things are out to get me. The rose bush, a rose limb back here. Nice and spiky. All right, so I'm gonna put him about right here. Look at that soil, y'all. Just coming back out from a About a 10-minute water break. As much as I want to call it quits this afternoon, it's an okay day. It's warm, a little warm to be out here working. However, I want to get it done because it's going to be even warmer tomorrow. And the front of the house is pretty shady in the morning, but y'all, I don't have any discipline. I'm a night owl. I tend to burn the midnight oil on the weekends, so I know I'll have all good intentions of getting up early tomorrow and knocking the rest of this out, but it more than likely won't happen. That's a lot of work for moving it about 4 inches. But I'm thinking about right here. I don't know if this rock here is in the shot, but maybe diagonal to this rock. Just stage it here, see how I like it. I think right there is good. Just make sure it's, level, and that should work. And again, I don't need any biotone, but I'm adding biotone. Just a handful, because I'm gonna prune them sharp, so they're gonna go through a little stress. Doesn't seem like I dug the hole that deep. Just making sure it's diagonal to that stone there. Forgot to position the camera where you guys can see what I'm doing. So on the front, I want to create a little trench, but back here, my foot sank down a little, so I want to build that up. Okay, I'm gonna call it quits. The sun is bearing down on me. I can't take it anymore. I've been taking my little water breaks, but it's time. And I'll just have to set the alarm to try to get up at a reasonable hour in the morning while it's shady out here to complete this project. Hopefully I'll get some help by that time. Our son came to stay with us while my foot has been healing. So maybe get him out here and help his old dad out. See you in the AM.
Good morning, folks. As I stated, I was not able to go to bed. I say not able. I did not go to bed on time. However, I did manage to get up early. Goodness, I love to burn the candles on both ends when I got my weekends here. So one of the things that had me up thinking was this area where my Gertrude Gecko climbing rose is. I'm wondering, would it serve any benefit for me to move it from its location to over there? And the reason I'm speculating that is I was primarily going to move it because it was too crowded over here. But moving the Sunshine Ligustrum up yesterday lends more space to that corner. And my original plan for it was to have it spotlighted. If it's over here in this corner, it's kind of tucked away a little. So I don't know. I'm not a great garden designer. So I think I'm going to leave it for now. We'll just revisit it after we get all the remaining shrubs moved, because in gardening there's grace, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise for you this morning. Our son's going to join me in the garden. We're going to get this project knocked out because he knows that, we're going to hit that record temperature today. Dad's going to be out here struggling, so he's kind enough to come out and give me a hand. So without further ado, so what we're going to do today, see how I have this shrub is up further?
Yeah.
Okay, that's when I was speaking to you about they were too close to the foundation. See how far back he is? Mm-hmm. So when he grew all into the window box. He grew all into that. Plus, that's the vent. Remember the vent for the foundation back there?
Right.
So he was growing into the vent. Not growing into it, blocking the vent, so preventing airflow. Okay, so my goal today is to dig him up, and I want to plant him exactly where he is horizontally, but just diagonal to these two, excuse me. But in doing that, this stone is in the way.
Okay.
So we need to slide this stone over, or slide it out, maybe just pull it out of here and then put it back when we're done. And then I also have this plant here that's in the way. I even ran out and got him a brand new shovel of his own. I'll hold that. So I'm gonna dig this salvia up. I kind of want it against this rock once we get everything else situated. I want it right where it's located.
Okay.
But it's just in the way.
See that left foot's working now? I mean, right foot? Left foot. Okay. So I really want to put them right back next to that rock.
Okay.
Once we get the rock situated. So now we're gonna need these big arms of yours, and we're gonna move this rock, I think over this way maybe.
So I don't need to dig them out?
No, we're gonna we should be able to just slide them. It's heavy though. Yeah. Maybe you were right, maybe we need to just lift it.
Yeah, just dig them out a little bit.
Lift it on that end. Watch out for this. These are delicate. Get the shovel behind it. Oh man. There was like 3 or 4 of us that put it in place. Easier said than done though.
Yeah, it is.
There we go.
That's what they mean by unearthing.
There you go. All right. Nice job. So then now this shrub is going to come out right diagonal with that guy.
Okay.
Now the only caveat is I got to get under there because see this ring here?
Right.
There's one of them under there for watering, the drip ring. So what I literally have been doing, Chris, is just cutting and opening in this plastic drip ring. Okay. And then I move the mulch out the way so that we can get our shovel in there. You know, I'm glad you're wearing long sleeves.
I figured it was a good idea.
Because some of this vegetation does irritate me.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to it, especially the arborvitaes. I actually said that in one of my videos. I'm allergic to it. This is just me just getting the mulch out the way so that we can get to the plant,
Right.
the base of the plant easier.
This particular plant, it doesn't get stressed out.
Yeah, they get stressed out. That one was like really drooping bad after I moved it yesterday. I watered it, and then as you can tell, it rained here last night. We got a good bit of rain, so the ground is soaked, and you can't even tell that he was stressed out. I mean, he looks so happy. This one was drooping, and he was back there, but that area that I got him from was very dry.
Right.
So that's why he's so thin and stressed out looking. So I think moving him probably saved him as well. So in order to get it out, we're going to take that spade shovel you have, and we're just going to go around the edge of the plant.
So like about right here?
You can get in right around this area outside the branches. Is called the drip line.
Okay.
So get in right around the drip line and go on like a 15-degree angle all the way around. Okay. And just keep rocking it as you're digging your foot in. Okay, so now I saw you got it real deep in there, so rock it with the shovel, like put the shovel down. Yep, as far as you can. Now rock the shovel up and down. Yeah. I'll get this side.
All right, yeah, it's moving now.
The first one I had a large taproot that I had to cut out. It went down deeper than the remaining shallow roots. That's called a taproot.
Ah. Well, we dig a nice little deep hole for him up front.
Yeah, right here next to this guy. The reason I'm doing it this way is I kind of want to eyeball how wide the root ball is going to be, and that determines how big of the hole I'm going to dig.
Okay. Okay, so he's got a decent amount of foundations underneath him. Oh, so he's not actually heavy. That's like all foundation. All right. So now, what do you say, like right here?
So we want to see where this corner of this window is.
Right.
The center of the plant needs to go there. So
like right here.
And then diagonal to that guy.
Oh, okay.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the soil that we used to make his new hole to plug up that hole.
Okay.
Yep. Take that soil, put it back in that hole. Then you want to try to get this width and almost dirt.
Oh, there's an earthworm.
Yep. What do you know about earthworms?
Well, one of your videos, you say that's how they keep the dirt incredibly healthy.
There you go.
Good sign of a good soil is when you start picking it up and they immediately start freaking out. They start wriggling.
So you're looking at true soil amendment. So what you're noticing is that brown color is the color the native soil was. Okay, the native soil was red clay. So by doing soil amendments, putting compost, putting mulch, all that begins to break down. And when it breaks down, it brings in those worms that you just saw, roly-polies, other organisms into the earth. That clay starts to turn this black color that you're seeing due to soil amendment. That's what the whole point of soil amendment is. So this isn't a beneficial bug. This is called a grub. You ever hear me complain about Japanese beetles?
Yeah.
Well, these are their larvae. This is their larval stage. Japanese beetles go into the soil in the fall and they lay eggs, and these are the babies of them.
Okay.
These grubs eat on the roots of tender plants, and then these also emerge into Japanese beetles that come and eat all the leaves off the roses. And so whenever we see these, we chuck them out onto the street or put them somewhere where they can't do any damage.
Does it matter if the earthworms are different colors?
Believe it or not, there's good and bad earthworms. I saw a video just recently that talked about some sort of earthworm that's not a good earthworm. And I don't really know how you're supposed to mediate that. That's about right. That's about where I want them. The holes, too deep, but that's not a bad thing. You can always backfill it. So this is called root pruning.
Right.
And it's not bad. It doesn't hurt it. It actually helps it. It's going to encourage it to grow more roots and spread out. So we're just going to cut those out.
That way it can just reach into the soil. It's kind of porous. It'll be able to breathe.
Yep. So the name of this is Biotone.
Yeah.
It's a starter fertilizer, but it has what they call mycorrhizal fungi in it, and that's what actually jump starts the whole biological process of plants being established. I'm gonna be honest with you, shrubs, especially established shrubs, don't need it. I'm just, because I know we're gonna put the plants through this stress, I've been using it. You know, why not if I have it?
So it's got its own nutrients?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's a starter fertilizer that helps establish new plants in the ground and, you know, helps them through that transplant shock to which we're given now. While you were waiting on the side over there, I was recording, making a statement that I don't know if I want to move this to this corner or not, or keep it where it is.
So you want to just fish it out of the ground and just move it?
I'm debating, because my argument is the reason I was moving it is because it was crowding this guy, right? So I'm thinking, now that he's not as far back, maybe I can just leave him, right?
Right.
Move the trellis over an inch or two to make it more centered on this wall, and then put something different back there. So I think what I'll do is mound up that area back there and a nice big sunflower.
Ah.
One of those tall ones.
Yeah.
Put that right there. Remember that part in the beginning where I got on my knees and I moved the mulch out of the way, because we don't want that mulch, the black woody material.
Right.
We don't want that falling into our hole.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very delicate. We don't want to just pull it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, don't pull anything but the trunk. Don't pull it at the limbs at all.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be digging them up from the blade of the shovel under the base.
Looks like I'm not getting to it. It's like I gotta get closer.
We talked about that on the other plant. So we want to be about what we call the drip line.
Right.
The exterior part. Just keep pushing it down. Yeah, you're fine if you grab the trunk, but these limbs on it are very gentle. When you have it in a little pot that it comes, it says turn it upside down and let it fall out into your hand.
Right.
And then That's a future Japanese beetle. It's going to ravage my rose bush.
Oh, there's another one. Jeez. So many of these guys. Now, how did they get here?
I told you earlier. So the Japanese beetles.
Yeah, but were they imported with another plant and they just
How did they get here originally?
Yeah.
Okay, they, unfortunately, like any other science project, they were brought here from Japan for whatever reason and became very invasive. A lot of invasive insects and plants come from other countries. We, brought them here as experiments or to resolve some other issue, and they end up harming us in the long run. They have no known predators, so it's not like a bird's going to fly around chasing them and eating them.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll eat the larvae because we've thrown them out on the driveway, but the Japanese beetles themselves, the actual bugs, don't have any predators that swoop down and eat them. And I actually talked about that earlier in this video. So let's see, Boop, go ahead and grab it.
Yeah. Yeah. You just need to fish them in.
I think that's perfect. Biotone.
So, is phosphorus dangerous to plants? Like it's bad for them?
It's helpful.
Okay.
If you look at this packaging, has nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Right.
That's what makes up the base of fertilizer. So if you look, I made like a little moat.
Yeah.
So
it's to gather water better.
yep.
So, so the biotone, is it activated now or does it activate with water?
Yeah, it starts immediately.
Oh, okay.
So it gives the plants a shot of fertilizer, like we just talked about, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. And then it also has mycorrhizal, which is the life starter. Plants use mycorrhizal to establish their roots. It helps the roots of the plants not only bind to the soil, it basically encourages them to use the nutrients of the soil as well.
Yeah, because gardening is a science.
Oh yeah.
You know.
We got that one established. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna move that plant. So that means we gotta move that rock and that salvia.
Oh, so we're doing like a whole reorganization project here.
Yeah, but look, once we're done, that one, we're done.
Oh, okay.
Except for going to get some bags of mulch and mulching it all over. Because I'm not gonna move the rose bush over there today.
Right.
That's something I'll probably wait to do to next season. So yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. You heard that scraping noise?
Yeah.
So when I put this post in the ground, I put cement. I forget what it's called. I call it a mount. So when we dig this hole and dig that hole, this might start moving. So if it starts moving towards the window, grab it.
Okay. It's got little baby plants. Either that or this root came up and just started springing more of itself. This guy right here. It's going into it's not even attached to the main plant. It's like its own thing right here.
Yeah, those are, some of those are called runners. That's when a plant has one that just shoots off.
Yeah.
And it does its own thing. Believe it or not, I found a runner. This green plant,
Yeah.
this is called a Nellie Stevens holly. One of these, it had a root that came up and was all the way over there behind that.
What?
It was sitting up there green, just like this, sticking out the ground.
What? How did it get over there?
They call runners. He just created his own little tunnel. It was like, I'm out. I'm starting my own thing. So pretty much the same thing. He's going to come out, and unfortunately, he's going to have to be into this post a little bit. Just pretty much the way he is. If we can put him in that hole where the salvia just came out of.
Okay.
Lateral to him.
There we go. You are in there, buddy.
See, when you asked me about the gym yesterday, I said, oh no, this is in lieu of the gym. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit of a workout, I would say.
And then you got the heat index on top of it, because it was hot. It's gonna be even hotter today.
You just ever manually water these?
Yeah, I haven't put drip on yet. So that's why these holes, some are gonna be dry like this. All right, so same thing, we're gonna do a little root prune on this guy. And again, it doesn't hurt it. It actually encourages it. If you can backfill it, that'd be great.
Yeah, all this soil is still good for it. Still good. Those little baby worms. So I have little baby ones over here actually. No full-grown worms.
Yeah.
And the next time it rains, it'll just pack it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna water it also
Okay.
today. We had pretty substantial rain last night. You see how dry this is.
Yeah. It's like it just soaked straight to the ground.
Well, like I said, this Nellie Stevens is gobbling up all the water and nutrients. So the only thing left now is to water these guys in. Yeah, put the stones back. I got to plant that salvia back. And I guess today or tomorrow I'll run to Lowe's. Get some 2 for 10. 2 for 10. 5 for 10 more. Well, folks, this much of the project's done. I'm going to put some of the plants that I moved or took out of their place back where they belong. I'm going to refresh the mulch, and that's going to be it for this part of the garden until I get my annuals, which, stay tuned, my birthday weekend, you know, I always go up to Creekside Nursery and get my plant. I want to thank my son Chris for helping us out.
Thank you, Dad.
If you haven't done so already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. That motivates me to put out more content, and I appreciate the engagement with you all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is South Carolina Transplant and Chris coming to you live from Zone 8A, the Piedmont of South Carolina. Until the next one, friends. WBLS, America's Best, 107.5 in stereo.